this full, whatever the full total cost number is gonna be put towards the system,
Yeah.
her benefiting percent would stay the same.
The benefited percent would stay the same, yeah. So the actual dollar amount,
Would go up a little bit.
yeah, so you take, I think 4,000, to get to that $4,000 cost, they looked at what the unit prices the contractor provided for a channel cleanup. It may be less than that actually, but, that cost will be spread out over all
The
the
whole system.
landowners. So it could be several cents to a dollar or so.
What do you mean by that, Julie?
Well, with the water trying to, like it is right now, the water's trying to come up into mine and across my backfield or my front field and in my pasture. The road that the cattle use to get from the pasture to the hill is washed out. I gained nothing as far as where it sits right now.
And
Right.
you don't, excuse me,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair. Do you believe that if we clean out that 200 feet, that water will move faster and that will eliminate some?
I hope so, but what if it doesn't?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, yeah, and that's
That's,
our hope too.
If it doesn't,
Go back again and see,
deeper.
yeah. Well,
All right.
we have an option to do a full repair.
We could. You could say, okay, let's go ahead and do a full repair at station 84 plus 00 to 86 plus 00 and expect about $57,000 of cost and not recommend doing that to the other ones. I think
Well-
that was our concern from the beginning. If we do all these 4 locations,
We're at
full depth repair,
370.
yeah, mitigate for the wetland impact, that added to that cost of construction.
And it's over the
And we were
benefited.
bumping up against our benefited ratio, benefit value,
Right.
so.
There's two ways to look at that. One is that the 370 is a fair amount of money, but they have this new rule where if you haven't done anything in 25 years, and hopefully going forward that the county boards look at this before 25 years,
Right.
because that's the biggest hangup is this. We can't do anything if it hasn't been cleaned for 25 years. Well, we know what the history of Benton County was, and there's not enough support to change that law from within AMC, because we're rare on counties that haven't done a lot of ditch work, especially the ones that have the voice at policy committee. So there's not a lot of interest in changing that rule. So, I mean, if we went ahead and cleaned it all out and got it all done and did the ditch system, hopefully they'd be good for the rest of the life.
Chris, do we know that we're gonna be able to grab these cattails and pull them out by the roots? Or is it gonna break off halfway down and then be up there the next year?
Well, that comes back to our maintenance. I think for some of these, we're gonna be maintaining them every year until we, establish, good vegetation that's easily managed.
Mr.
That's a good
Chair,
point. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, and Commissioner Kapinski, you're right. The only way you're gonna remove all of that root ball is to get under it.
Yes.
To remove it.
And to that
You
point,
can't
if we're
pull
gonna
it
stay
out.
maintaining it, what happens on the maintenance level? When
Yeah.
we get to the 200-foot section, we're gonna pick up our shovel again and say, oh, we can't clean this out?
I
mean,
think
that's
we
what's
need
gonna
to be
happen.
very clear with the agencies that we're not gonna go in and pull them. We're gonna go out and scrape them to get the roots out. 'Cause unless they agree to pay next year to come back and do it again.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
I know, but
That's
we
why I
give them
think-
that option.
I think we almost get forced hand to do the full repair. On that station.
Oh,
So,
Or to 86.
Yeah, on that station.
Well, Mr. Chair, if we can get the okay by the TEP to get down to 18 inches,
maybe it adds.
that will take care of the root balls.
And I think I exaggerated. I think
I
it was
know
6
you
to
were.
12 and I went to 18.
I know you did, Commissioner
but-
Pop, but that's a good point,
But
though.
legitimately, I asked though, is what about the maintenance in the future?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't get the cattail roots out, they're coming back next year.
Right. And
And
maybe
every year
maybe that
after
root
that.
ball is 2 feet deep, hopefully. Right?
Oh,
I mean, you should.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of sediment
Until you're
on
out
'em.
there and look at it, it's like,
Yeah.
you can't believe it could, over the years, how much,
Chris, do you know at that station approximately how much sediment we took out on either end of it?
yes, we can,
I mean, because
plan sheets.
my point
show
is, if
here.
it's at 24 inches, let's repair it and be done.
right.
If we're gonna tear out 12,
Yeah, I mean, it was a foot and 4/10, so
Oh,
But
that's what came out on.
Well,
it's a $50,000 difference cost though, too.
if it's a foot and 4/10 and they let us take out 6 to 12,
yeah,
Yeah, and
not-
if we, that's right.
we're not too
because
far.
we would have only
That's right.
taken it back to a.
It says
foot and
15 to
4/10.
24 inches,
Yeah,
What does?
root ball
Oh, there you
for
go.
cattails.
okay.
So we need clarification because, yeah. Yeah.
15 to 24 is more than we took out. in the rest
But,
of the ditch.
so if we would have repaired it, we would have only taken a foot and 4/10.
Well,
Back to originally constructed,
yeah,
constructed.
Wow.
So-
approximately, because
Plan
yeah,
around
the
Ooh,
existing
not good.
elevation was 1098.12, and we proposed excavating it down to 1096.84. So
Can I ask a question, Mr.
not
Chair?
quite a full 2 feet.
Go ahead, Monty.
So, Chris, does the TEP do a post-construction inspection to ensure no impacts as planned? Do they do post?
I don't know how often they do that. It takes one adjacent landowner to mention it though, and then they would fully have the right to inspect it.
Say the contractor goes maybe a little deeper than everyone thought, and water's draining off, and is that gonna be a problem and like a violation that we have to fix?
I don't know. Good question. I put my road engineer hat on and say, we've been replacing wetlands at 2 to 1 for years, but how come we're still running out of wetlands?
Right.
Right.
Shouldn't we have twice as many wetlands? But
See, that's why I'm a little leery about not doing the repair. If we do the repair, we put it back to its as constructed position.
Yeah.
And then there's not a question of whether or not.
yeah, so that, you're right, we go back up to here. We could fill out the application, say, at station 84 plus 00 to 86 plus 00. We're going to take it down to that as constructed. I think the TEP agrees with us. It's 0.24 acres of impact. That we look for a wetland bank to buy 0.48 acres of credits, whatever that cost is. Hopefully it's a little bit less than $100,000 an acre, and be prepared to spend about that much.
But
The
what's-
TEP would sign off on that and we can move forward and get
What's
it.
our estimated vegetative alternative? Do we know that number?
Yeah, it's a gray area, but they seem to be okay when we said 6 to 12 inches. So I think we would put in our application as a no-loss wetland application of, vegetation management with root balls up to 12 inches.
But we don't know what that cost is though yet.
To do that?
Correct.
I mean-
So to have the contractor to, bring a machine out there and walk it out to that location.
I mean,
do
if
not
that
know
comes in at
exact
35
cost.
grand,
Correct, yeah,
Then, I
then you're
mean,
better off going.
repair it.
Repair it,
And we should maybe get that first.
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll have to get that estimate first to
Really be
determine.
nice to get this done for these people. This
Sooner
fall,
than
later.
next
Correct.
spring, they're
Done.
to normal.
Yep, I
I
agree.
mean,
And I mean, personally, as a staff person, I do have concerns of like the adjacent landowners to these other locations. If we do a full repair, they're gonna say, why can't you do it at my location too? Maybe the answer is, well, the cost. The vegetation management seemed to be acceptable next to this type 3 wetland, but not acceptable to these other ones.
Wouldn't part of the argument, Chris, be that those are open water wetlands?
Correct.
This
They're
is a
completely
ditch.
different type.
I mean,
of
this is
wetland.
where it's flowing.
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Well, there's a lot of different stuff on dredging
Oh.
of cattails and
Yeah,
stuff.
It makes me nervous to go in there.
So I'm here,
Partial.
open to your direction. How would you like me to proceed?
I guess, Mr. Chair, I'd like to see them, what the cost's gonna be to go out there and do 6 inches versus the whole thing.
6 to 12
Yeah.
inches.
The vegetative management alternative, full
Yep.
repair.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with Commissioner Pop
I'm-
on that one too.
And is there any way we can get that number from Hellman?
I will certainly make
Next
that call
Tuesday.
this afternoon and see if he can do it. I mean, we know he's in the area. He's working on our road reconstruction project.
And
so,
we know the TEP's more than likely not meeting in the next week. So if we, next Tuesday, have an answer and that says we're gonna go with the alternative or we're gonna repair it, then the TEP has that information for final approval and we can give Hellman the go-ahead to get it done.
Yep.
I will
that
certainly
work?
make those
Yes.
calls if that's.
And water
I
will be
agree.
flowing through that place and we won't get stuck next time.
Yeah.
Did you get wet?
And I think if we're off a few inches in depth, I don't think they're, right, Monty?
Okay.
Anything
My
else?
official response is we're just doing vegetation management.
Correct.
So you just have consensus works for you on this?
Yes, I'm okay with consensus to contact contractor and get estimate of actual work costs.
Okay.
For the
I guess,
altern-
Mr.
for
Chair,
the
my worry was, I don't know we've ever done anything like this before, so I was a little worried about post-construction inspection and saying, oh, you've reduced the water flow, so now you've got to restore.
Well, that's part of my concern about not doing the full
And
repair.
this becomes a black hole,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But if we do a full repair, we don't have no worries, right?
That will,
Have no worries.
we have no worries.
That's
So-
right. We
But
have-
I think the due diligence is we've got to know this alternative cost versus the
Yeah.
repair.
Yep.
I think everybody
Understood.
pretty much says if it's 35 or 40 grand to do the alternative, we're going to repair it for 57.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. And find out what the method is gonna be to get those,
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe this is common to them, I don't know.
Anything else in the ditches? If you want to come up the podium so we could hear you a little better, that'd be great.
Okay, my name is Mark Spitzka, live at 18353 90th Street, Northeast Oak Park. And that ditch runs through mine. Now, like he was saying over there, they took like a foot, foot and a half. Well, they got 4 to 5 feet in mine they took out. So the water sits there now, and it backflows underneath the ground. So I've gained nothing out of it.
Because of the plug that's sitting down on the LaFleur property.
That plug is holding everything back.
Yeah.
We've seen that, we agree with.
Yep.
Yep.
We agree 100%.
The other thing I've got on that ditch too, they didn't slope the ditch because they only dug the one side. Wildlife can't get down in there. I got critters going through my yard left and right now. Skunks and things I really don't want.
Well, let's see what happens here, Mark, when we move ahead to take care of this plug, because that's the intent, to get a lot of this stuff resolved.
Yeah, because like I said, if they don't slope it, it's gonna be like south of me. The banks are already washing out.
Well, and I would have to think part of that's coming because it's hitting this plug too. Right?
Yeah.
The water can't move, and so it's finding other places to
Well,
go.
they're down there south of that, it's moving.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
That's where the banks are washing out. They're undermining.
Well, and we've had a little bit of a rough year with the spring with all the, what we have, 9 inches of water,
Yeah.
rain coming down there, and, well, but in those banks, you're right, that's gonna be part of our future maintenance, because we're gonna have to stay on top of this. That's part of the plan here, is to get the repair done and keep them maintained, and that's gonna be part of it.
Because like I said, working for the DNR, I found out, yeah, you gotta slope that bank, and sometimes you gotta put down they've got a concrete plastic mesh that you can lay down. That'll let the grass grow through, but it won't wash away.
Oh,
Stays
yeah, I
in
know.
the holes.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Julie, anything else?
No, I'm just glad you're looking at the whole thing, you know. Originally, when I received the report that the ditch was going to be done, it didn't show a flood. And then all of a sudden, there was 100-foot flood. Oh, but then none of that was mailed to me. Do you see what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, there was a 200-foot flood to include 3 beaver dams that we've been knocking out for years.
Okay,
It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
yep, very.
We gotta do what's right here for us too.
Yeah.
Well,
just
and that's,
as-
we're hoping we're hoping we can make a decision next Tuesday when we get this estimate back on the alternative, and then give some direction. Because I think it's safe to say, unless the TEP says no for some reason on this, which they shouldn't, at a minimum, it's gonna get a vegetative part done, or it's gonna get repaired.
Yeah.
So, is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
We're just as kind of as, well, probably not as frustrated as you, but we sit up here and we're trying to push these things forward, and people get in front of us, and then we can't blame them, but they put it all on us, and we've got no say in
Well, as I like
in
to
the
call it, a
legalities.
bunch of unelected bureaucrats making the
It
decisions.
really is.
And then they throw the alternatives in afterwards.
Yeah.
I know. Anyways, anything else? Ditch Authority? All right, we're adjourned at 10:35. I'll turn it back to the board chair.
All right, Commissioner meeting updates.
I can start if you'd like.
Sure.
Commissioner Pop and I, Chris mentioned it, went and looked at CD 14 on September 4th, and I'll leave the story at that. It was it was plenty wet out there and muddy, so we certainly can understand what Julie and Mark are saying is going on in that area. September 6th, I was on
Guys
a,
disturb a wetland or not?
actually, we may have.
May have.
September 6th, I had a BRE meeting with Foley Engines. That was very well attended. Amanda and Pam, and then both owners were there, myself. It was a very good meeting. Extension committee meeting on September 9th. Of course, on the next day, we had our budget for our cow for our budget, preliminary budget meetings, which we approved today. Attended the fall conference Wednesday evening and into Thursday. I ended up leaving Thursday afternoon. The 18th, I was on the Highway 23 Coalition meeting, and last Thursday evening, the Benton County Area Townships meeting down in Glendorado, which actually was very well attended. I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
So that was a good meeting. That's all I had.
I had pretty much the same thing, the ditch extension. Fall policy, if you read your fall policy committee that you're on, and there's something that comes to, that you think should be a part of the initial that we vote on, let me know before October 2nd or 3rd, because that's when your fall policy chairs get together, and then we pick certain ones, like we'll pick one from transportation, one or two from public health, and we'll put them out for voting at our district meetings. I think our district meetings are gonna be a little bit more consumed about salaries than they are about the policies, because they're looking at a salary increase, and I think Monty got the memo on what they're looking at, right? For AMC fall, increase in our dues. Yeah, and I'm still not, I'm not quite sure that was the right way to go, because it was $2,000 or 10%, whichever is greater. Some of the counties are gonna push back on the $2,000 because that's gonna be 30%, 40% of what they pay now. So I think we'll have some pushback, and in turn, the Dakotas and the Carvers and them, 10% of their dues is gonna be, $8,000-9,000. So, I don't know if that's really gonna work, but somehow we gotta get that settled out, because we're gonna lose policy people that are really good. And then I did have a Micah.
With that, Commissioner Pop, with that said though, you look at what Julie Ring and everybody has done for us, especially with the opioid funding
So,
and stuff.
that brings me back to an important question. Monty, do you got that list of what they done for Benton County?
Yeah, they sent us an email.
Yeah, it was in an email on how much money they got to Benton County. I mean, there were some things like, I think our health money was $83 more.
Yep.
Right.
And that wasn't much, but some was pretty substantial. But when you look at some of the smaller counties, that was a small amount, and then you're asking them to increase their dues by 40%. So I think that's maybe a little bit out there, I don't know. But as long as we got a say, and we know you guys got any policies that you want me to bring forward and speak a little harder on, I'll do that.
Okay.
Just let me know. And then, of course, me and Chris were in DC, and that was good, I think. We,
Oh, he left you.
yeah, he left Nancy. We found out while we were out there that Gilman was denied their
They
USD,
were, huh?
USD loan or grant.
Yeah.
So it didn't pay after the first day to go and talk about that, because,
Yep.
more than likely they knew. So we did more thanking them for the last money we got. And surprisingly, we should do that, because they appreciate that more than they do about ask.
Like I told Commissioner Pop, for the $5 million return on investment.
Yep.
To send
Yeah.
2 people out there, I think it's a pretty good
Yeah.
payback.
I mean, I couldn't believe when we were at Emmer's office, it was like, okay, we were still there, and we know about it, we know about this. Well, then the next day it was, Lloyd Alts sent a deal that it was denied. So then we just said, well, thank you for this, and we did let Blue Earth County tag along with us to Klobuchar and Smith's office, and we would have had in Klobuchar's office, we would have had that group to ourselves for 40 minutes if we wouldn't have let them come along. But
I'm telling you, going out there and doing, this is,
Big difference.
it's a big difference. And like you just said, just thanking
thank
them,
them. Yeah.
that probably,
Personally.
personally, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can write them a card or write them a letter, but it doesn't, I mean, Anna from Senator Smith's office was like, wow, we don't hear this very often,
Yeah.
She
Isn't
went
she
on
awesome?
and on and on. Yeah, she went on and on and on about, that we did this and did that. And then we had Blue Earth sitting there, Vance and their county engineer were sitting there, kind of like, okay, we need this, we need this, we need this, And they do have a big problem in that dam.
They do.
I mean, they're looking for USDA funding and they'll get it because the USDA person from Minnesota lives in their county.
When did you end up coming back? Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday night. We actually made it back for the township deal.
Really?
You did,
Yep.
wow.
Because when I landed, Klobuchar was walking through the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To your point though, Commissioner Pop, about Gilman being denied, that means that we're gonna be talking with Chris about what to do with CASA 3 and 5.
Yeah.
So that's
What to do with that money sector, where to go with
That
it.
was happening next year.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's still
Major
happening.
project.
They got the money for that no matter what, I think.
I should mention, they've already billed us for the full 400,000 for design costs.
For design,
So
but
I
that's,
understand, but
they have
for
no
that
money.
doesn't mean that they're
They-
moving ahead
no.
with it. So
Right.
for us to do CASA 3 and 5 next
Won't
year,
happen next year.
probably won't happen. So that's a major project that's gonna.
We'll
get
probably,
ground
we'll have to
road
look at a
plan.
sand mix or something, tie us over
I
there.
thought for sure they had something, no matter if they got the money or not, I thought they had that figured out.
I thought they
I think
did
they were hoping on the USDA grant.
No, that's something we'll have to,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just
Get
thinking,
information.
the discussion's coming.
Okay.
really? Again?
Yep. Again.
Interesting. Well, I want to thank you, Commissioner Pop, for going out there.
Yes,
It was
thank
good.
you.
It was good. Chris is a really good partner to go with.
I seen you fly over me, There you go.
Found an interesting place to eat that he knew about. And we actually met with, somebody on city council from St. Michael Albertville and the engineer that Buffalo's got and the Buffalo mayor. We ate with them and was really good. Chris knows, I will say, Chris knows a lot of engineers out
Yes.
there. The engineers on Wednesday night, they sat at their own table and discussed projects that they were, and Jody was there, so, you got to kind of like, okay, Jody, we need to talk,
Well, hence another reason why he for sure is going every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's
if
well worth it.
if you were a new engineer and had be left, you might be kind of out in the cold, but well respected,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. That's all that I had.
Okay. I'll go next,
You-
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I had a housing infrastructure meeting that I attended. Still a lot of conversations, and that's all it's going to right now is conversations. The budget meeting, of course, the 10th, and then I actually did the criminal justice meeting. Nothing new. I think the jail is at 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, jail's low.
I think that's the number Troy gave the other night.
Did,
Yeah.
whatchamacallit let you know I wasn't gonna be on?
I'm sorry.
Who's the head of that, that sends out the meeting invites and everything? Tim Hoover, yeah. I let him know that I was
Oh.
on a conference, so.
Yeah, yep. And that's all I had because I was on vacation last week.
Okay.
Okay, started out with the Minden Township orderly annexation, and they're, talking about the renewal that, will have to come after 25, and thinking about, going south of 23 out to, CASA 25. Maybe annexing that far. And then they're working on a development out in the area. Then I had First Steps and the Minden Township meeting, Council on Aging, let's see, the fall conference. Township meeting, the quarterly business report. Businesses, yeah, it's down. The business is down, and there's a drop that went down that they're thinking there could be a recession or something like it did the last two receptions, but yeah, it's getting tight.
On who is doing that?
They had less people that responded with the businesses this time, but
There's something King Banyan presented, or?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yep. And all the other cows. That was pretty much it.
Okay. I had the cows, the budget meeting, stuff like that. I was also out last week, so I did miss the criminal justice and the fall conference and stuff, so that's all I've got.
One of the highlights from the fall policy was that, so I played with Scott County Commissioners
Beanbags?
on the beanbag.
Yeah.
And Mike Beard is his name. I don't know what he does, but he was kind of like a Jared, you know, buying points and all this stuff. And we had to throw backwards. I threw it backwards and it was dead ass in a hole. And somebody from the other team paid money to see that. So
That's the best part.
that was the best
That
part.
is a highlight.
Yeah, that was the highlight.
Jesus.
And we only lost once, but we weren't. Two teams didn't lose at all.
Who was your partner?
Barb Brecky
Oh, okay.
and him, and I didn't know the other person.
I didn't know if Melissa was your partner.
No, they were our first competition.
They won, right?
No,
That's weird.
no, they didn't win.
All right, we'll move on to, there's no
Committee of the whole,
cows, so.
Yeah, no cows, so we can.
Cows.
First. All right, Mr. Chair.
with
Did anyone attend the airport ribbon cutting ceremony? No, we can skip
Was
that
that
one.
last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The AMC District 5 meeting is October 14th at 8 a.m. at the Crow Wing County Land Services Building in Brainerd, October 14th, 8 a.m. I should mention too is that date was also, we had scheduled one of those standing human services committees of the whole, so obviously we need to reschedule that one. So, let's see here. Is it possible?
Nope.
So again, that was scheduled for the 14th.
AMC's the 14th.
Yes, the AMC District 5 meeting is that morning through, about noon, 1 o'clock. We could move it a week earlier, a week later. What seems to work with that one?
Is it something that they need? Because remember, I thought we set these up, and if they
You know,
don't need
we
them-
haven't had one for a bit. If we could go ahead and get it on the calendar today, if it's not necessary, we can cancel it.
Didn't we just have one a month ago?
It wasn't that long ago, I suppose.
I think it'd be important to actually schedule one.
Yeah.
To hear how.
Let's schedule if we
Get
may,
it on
and then
August
again
12th.
cancel if it's unnecessary.
August 12th.
And typically, again, that also includes public health topics.
Correct.
So again, the week before, the week after.
I'm available both.
I'm more available on the 21st.
So go to the 21st. Okay,
No, I'm not in my calendar yet.
not that. How about the 28th?
21st works.
21st work,
20.
Steve?
Yeah.
21st. Okay.
Just put it down.
9 o'clock?
Beth, when is that? What's the start time on that previously?
That human services.
At 9. At 9. Okay. 21st at 9. All right. Sandy has given us some new dates. You may recall the board was originally going to tour the Rivercrest facility today, but given the meeting time, we've rescheduled that. So she offers up October 1st or the 8th, October 1st or the 8th, or your two board meeting dates in November, the 5th and the 19th. So
The first we have employee forum also,
Right.
don't we?
From my standpoint, I'd rather do it in November. I got harvest coming up here with the,
October.
yeah, October's, like somebody said, we were scheduling AMC board meetings. Any day in October, you don't schedule anything's good for me.
If we do it in November, I'd like to do it the 18th.
Okay, I'll agree to that.
So she offers us the 5th and the 19th. The 5th and the 19th.
After board
Says that
meetings?
presumably it's going to be right. We're going to go tour these after the board meeting.
I can't the 19th, but that's, if the rest of you can, you go right ahead.
I'm a little nervous about scheduling on these board days because we don't know how long the board
long,
meeting's
yeah.
going to be. And we could have ditch, we could have community health board, and we could be here till 11.
She didn't offer the 12th.
The 12th. let me find out if the 12th is gonna work.
Could we set it next meeting? Maybe get a couple more options?
We could, yeah, and again, with the benefit of hindsight,
I
I
don't
should have
know.
questioned these dates a little more.
For me,
Is,
Okay.
we can't
but
give them.
that's fine.
We can't give them the guarantee about when we're gonna be there,
Right.
so,
I agree.
so maybe I'll ask him to steer away from board meeting days and Monday, Tuesday, but steer away from board days because again, we can't guarantee an arrival time, so, okay.
I know you're busy on the 21st, but if we did that cow and then went
21st of, this-
October,
October and then tour afterwards?
Tour
That'll
after.
work. That'd be, yeah, that'd,
since you already got the morning shot?
Right.
Yeah,
and if I can't come, I
then you
can't
can't
come.
go, you can't go.
Yeah, if I can't come, I can't.
yeah, I could do that.
Were you batting around a date there? What was that again?
October 21st after the cow, after the Human Services cow.
October 21st after the Human Services Cal. Sure. Let me propose that to Sandy and see if that works. And I think that's when we know we can wrap it up more definitely.
Right.
Right. You could say, okay, we're done in 2 hours and we're out of here.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Well, and maybe for Commissioner Pop's side, maybe we see if we can't start that at 8:15.
I don't think Human Services don't want to start their meetings before 9. I think they kind of like to get,
They got
That's-
a lot of stuff going on right away.
yeah, right away in the morning, so,
9 to
So-
11 and then maybe the tour.
yep.
Right. Okay. Got it. Approximately 11. Yeah. So maybe we could wrap
well-
up Human Services in 90 minutes and it gives you some time to get over there by 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay.
Okay,
That's all.
That's it.
Move for approval of the cows, Mr. Chair.
Second.
what?
Which tour was this?
The one
So
we were
that's
going
that
on
one we've
today.
been
The Rivercrest facility there in Sherburne County. You may recall they were thinking about opening another facility, and I think the board wanted to kind of see how's this place run, and so on. Yeah. So, yep.
Okay, we got a motion
And a second.
and a second to set the cows. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign, motion carries. We are adjourned at 10:53.